This might get weird.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Well, then cheers, Grace Helbig.
Cheers, Mamrie Hart.
You guys, if you are watching This Might Get Real this week, you will see that I actually am setting up. We're recording remotely.
Yeah.
Because I texted Grace at 10:10 and was like, "Do you want coffee?" She was like, "I'm not. I'm at home in sweatpants."
I'm at home in sweatpants. I was under the impression this was over Zoom this morning.
Which is totally cool. But so I am actually in the back house recording by myself because
Nice.
Chip put up a Wi-Fi back here.
I know, that's so great.
And so you're seeing a little angle of the office you don't normally see, which is that directly past the deer montage or mural is Velvet Elvis.
Velvet Elvis.
That my grandma gave me.
How great. Very appropriate. It's a Friday morning, and we are going to talk about some TV.
Some television.
Let's just get into, we're talking about Pump Rules. We're talking about Vanderpump.
Oh,
Rules.
look at you.
I'm staring at the hashtag right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Vanderpump Rules finale and Survivor. So should we just do the Vanderpump Rules finale?
Yes, because like the rest of Vanderpump this season, I have not taken notes, so I will talk about what I remember. And the thing I remember, go ahead.
I didn't even realize this week was the finale. That's how little I've been like really invested in this series.
Because that's how, listen, last season's finale was our Citizen Kane. It was our Super Bowl. It was our World Cup final.
It was, I mean,
I was having people over to watch every week. Like, it was a vibe. And this season, I'm kind of like, I don't even remember, like, did anything significant happen? Or it feels like one conversation the whole time that was just glued together with Sheena's tears. And this wasn't any different. The only thing that was very different is the question, was this a series finale?
Yeah, I know, because it's on pause right now, and I guess they normally pick up now to start filming for the following season, and they're on pause. I hear, like, the rumors are obviously that Ariana is hosting Love Island. And
no, not rumors. She's now, like, has a commercial, I think.
Totally. No, that's fact, but the rumor is that that's why they are pausing their filming, is that she's doing Love Island and she's going back to Broadway, so she's, like, booked and busy. So I wonder if they're like letting her do her own thing and then maybe figuring out if it makes sense to pick it back up. Because this finale, like, there's a formula for these reality show finales, is that there is always, even in the Housewives franchises, in the summer houses of it all, like there is a big event that happens at the very end that everyone comes together. And this is where things either like get patched up or they fucking fall apart, and then that leads us to our reunions. So it's like there's always this tent pole event that we're going to, and this one was
extra confusing.
What was it? They're in San Francisco for an event for a friend of theirs that makes jewelry, which
okay.
I think and that's why Sheena's Good as Gold was like being performed, because I'm attempting to make a connection that actually isn't there.
No, but that's a really good guess. The thing is, and I forget his name, Tom's friend, their friend that I think is throwing it. For being such good friends, never heard of this guy until this season. Maybe he has appeared in like, like moments of pool parties.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So the fact that they had the finale, not even in LA, not in any of their restaurants or bars, I think was a big mistake, because I was just confused. And kind of like every time I take a trip to San Francisco, I was like, what's the vibe here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we having fun?
But the hotel that they all stayed in was the hotel that Elliot and I stayed in.
Really?
And the hotel that we have stayed in when we've done shows up there, the Argonaut or something. It's the one that's like on the pier.
It's a Kimpton.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't mean to brag.
Like, oh my God, we did Thanksgiving up there. We were in this hotel. I know this maritime themed hotel. I did see a tweet that was like, if I want you guys to keep that same energy for Ariana's to-go box with the skewers for Tom Sandoval's entire hotel room.
Oh my God.
I have no room to really judge a hotel room that looks like that, but that looked trashed.
It looked absolutely trashed. Sandoval looks trashed. For someone who's been sober for a minute, hasn't really improved his look. It was a tough watch, especially because this is the first time that Ariana has brought her boyfriend to something like this.
Yeah. Like, right? Clearly that was, it feels like there was two things that producers needed to happen in this episode for it to be the finale. And that is for Tom and Ariana's new boyfriend to interact and for Tom and Ariana to have a conversation with each other on camera. And I love that Ariana was like, absolutely not. You're not going to get me to do this. Because I'm seeing tweets today that Sheena's insinuating on her podcast that producers heavily encourage them to get Tom and Ariana to talk, or like the future of the series hangs in the balance.
Oh,
so it's like
absolutely. And I feel like Lala was running double time in her like quest to take Ariana down because Lala knows that she is not spin-off material.
Well, she might be on The Valley now.
Really? Well, it makes sense. She's a mom, etc. And so I wonder if they're just going to start plucking off the like people from The Valley that aren't in the Vanderpump universe and just replacing them. So it will eventually just be like, we've already got Jax and Brittany and Kristen Dowdy, and now it'll be like Lala and who else from Vanderpump is boring?
Sheena.
Sheena would love to go on that. Are you kidding me?
It was such a like
clusterfuck.
Yeah, which finales usually are. It's usually people chasing down people to try and have conversations on camera. And I just really respected Ariana, especially. I'm so glad that they kept this in. Her talking to the producer and saying, I could be dead in a ditch from a deadly STD from that guy because of non-informed consent.
Non-informed consent was mic'd. I was like, Sheena, hand me that gold microphone so Ariana can drop it.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, yes, this is why, like, and someone raised a good point on Twitter again that Stassi didn't even film with Jax and Kristen for like years, and everyone's expecting Ariana to film with Tom months after this happens. Like, it's wild.
It's absolutely mild. It was mild, and now it's wild. Finally, what I loved about it is the absolute. Pardon me, I'm gonna drop a word. Dichotomy of Tom Sandoval's version of healing was like a somatic release breathing exercise where he was convulsing on his shared home's floor while like Ariana's there, and it's like, oh, I'm clearly doing the work. And I have no doubt Ariana was like heavy into therapy like before all of this happens, which like luckily, you know, she probably had that like baseline of terminology and whatnot, but her dropping that stuff was like, oh, I saw it online too. People were like, oh, Ariana goes to the good therapist.
Yeah. And she's
not just doing Reiki.
No, she's not calling up some Instagram healer to come shove crystals up her vagina. No, she has learned boundaries, which this show thrives because none of them have those. And
none of them do.
And now that she's starting to get them, is it great drama TV? Absolutely not. A healthy person existing in the world is not a good reality TV.
Exactly
necessarily.
That. And here's the thing. It's like, which I loved when Ariana, an episode or two ago, said to Brock, like, no one has a problem when it's male rage, just female rage, which we talked about. The thing is no one's going to be happy in any form of these cast members besides Katie and maybe James. I think James is like, go on with your bad self, Ariana. Like, I think he celebrates other people's successes as long as it doesn't hinge on his, you know, or hinder his. But I think no one is going to be happy because the jealousy is so palpable. Because think about it. This whole season, everyone's whole big thing was like, Ariana, you can't just sit in that rage. You have to let it go. You can't just sit in that rage. So what did she do in the finale? She comes to the party. She brings her boyfriend. She puts on a happy face. She wants to go to fucking Applebee's. And then people think that's spiting them that she's happy. So it's like she cannot win.
I love that she clearly has an Applebee's deal.
Sponsorship.
Yeah. And is already setting up the groundwork in like that's like such a thing that like if you and I found out that we got like some big brand deal, we would be on a podcast being like, whoa, we love TGI Fridays. You know?
We would postmate it to the podcast without letting the host know.
But that's like clearly her and her close little cohort that all walks out at the end. Like they all know she just got this deal, it feels like. And so they're all like covertly laying this like foundation.
Well, what I wonder though is, have you seen the commercials? Chip sent me one
with Sheena
yesterday.
and Katie.
But those are Chili's, right?
Oh,
are they?
They are, I think.
With the tequila Katie espresso teeny, I think they're Chili's. So I wonder if Ariana is kind of like, I mean, my drama got you a fucking Chili's deal, so I'm gonna go get some apple. Like, are we having a neighborhood grill rivalry? Have we drawn a line in the fried sand?
Is that the real subtext of the drama in this finale?
No, but let me tell you.
Concerned.
No, sorry, but Grace, between Liz's Applebee's breakdown and Ariana shutting out Applebee's, I'm like, this is the biggest integrated promotion month for a food chain of all time. No one on TV has said the word Applebee's this much in the history of television.
The Applebee's marketing team is blackout drunk celebrating
jerking
their
off.
success. Yeah, just jerking off onto maple bourbon burgers all over the place.
Absolutely. I was just sitting there and I was like, wait a sec, Applebee's. Liz, Applebee's.
Oh my God. That's so true.
Fucking wild. And you know they weren't shot nearly at the same time, but the fact that they came together within like a week's time is insane.
Wild. Well, we get, so at the end, we don't get the conversation between Tom and Ariana. We get Sheena crying more, and then we get Lala finally breaking and saying like, I don't know anyone that's been cheated on and becomes God. The show thrives on the constant contradictions that everyone exists within and like verbally declares. And everyone's just calling her out on being like, you've lied for years on this program.
Yeah, it's crazy. And also, I was watching something with Ariana, and it was actually like really kind of heartbreaking because she said, she was like, until maybe not that moment, maybe until she saw the season and saw Lala like talking shit, which I'm sure. I know the talking head stuff is in. I know they're recording that stuff after the season and being refreshed on what happened. So I know that like if the falling out happened on finale, Lala's talking shit in her talking heads about earlier episodes with the mindset of she's mad in that current time. But it was so sad. Ariana was like, I thought we were the Spice Girls. She was like, I thought we were all on a united front. I had no idea that Sheena and Lala had all these problems with me. I thought it was like just straight up girl power season.
Yeah.
And then found out that no, it's fuck Ariana season. And I'm just like, the idea that like, if you were like, yeah, we're doing this, and then you find out like one of your best oldest friends has just been talking shit about you the whole time. I was like, God.
And the friend
like,
that
Ariana catch a break emotionally?
And the friend, well, in Lala's case, a friend that has like pleaded with her throughout the season to be closer friends with her. And has been like, I don't feel like we're very close. Like, I don't feel like, you know, we check in or call each other as much. But then like breaks down in a sober state, like not even like Lala's, not even blackout. But then we also get the Tom Sandoval hot mic moment of him being like, this is good for me or something that other people. What was that? Because I was like, is this, everyone was freaking out, but I was like, is he saying this is good, meaning like it's going to look bad on Ariana?
I think that's what he meant. When we get the voiceover, not a direct quote, but it's Schwartz saying, it's the producer saying, well, that's the end then. And we don't know if he's saying for the season or for the series. And Schwartz says, well, that was a plot twist. And Sandoval says, it's good for me.
Yeah.
So I think...
And for him, like, as soon as he didn't get the conversation with Ariana on camera, that he just starts throwing a temper tantrum, saying how lazy she is and how much she's talked shit about, like the most desperate things you could possibly just
he was grasping for Coke straws at that point.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's kind of like, look, would I sleep in Ariana's bedroom? No. And this is coming from someone in a current hoarder home. I literally wiped spider webs off the books that my laptop is in before we started. Perfect. But the fact is you can't really call the bitch lazy.
No.
Because the fact is she works constantly. And even when you were together, she got the book deal.
Yeah.
And then you jumped on. Yeah. So like you can't call her lazy. But I love the fragile male ego, and that Sandoval was like so ready to have his moment to look like the bigger man. And the second he wasn't given that opportunity, he broke down, and you saw the true colors. And you can just see like, oh, this is how I could see how if you were in a relationship with them, you see him starting to act like that, and you're like, oh, fuck me. Yeah. He's going to be on a damn tirade. He was an absolute baby about it. And it was kind of perfection. But launching into It Killed Me, it was like, is this the series finale, or are they milking this? Because when that happened and they started to go into montage mode and we got to see clips of everyone before they had veneers.
Oh, my God. And when they all, like myself, were of an era of statement necklaces. I was like, okay, this is a bit like confirming that it wasn't just me that was into statement necklaces in 2010.
Like the 2010s were a big time for costume jewelry, and everyone should, if anyone has any like chest problems, they should know that is because we all carried 20 pounds of beads and fake rhinestones on our bodies at all times.
Yeah, that was like, I mean, it's created to be emotional, but also confusing. Of like, what am I looking at? Am I looking at like a chapter close completely, or are we just reminding us of how far they've come and not far that they've come?
Well, that's what I wondered, is if it was just meant to pull at heartstrings to go, hey, you've been with these guys for over a decade.
Right.
Like, stick with us. We're going to give them a little break, but like stick around because we really grew up together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does feel a little bit like a
don't leave.
A ploy.
You know these guys.
Like, look, you've known them since they were in their 20s. You've grown up together.
When they were throwing drinks in their 20s and then throwing drinks in their 30s and then popping out kids. My favorite thing that's happened this week from this episode is the clips of Brock in the gold suit dancing.
Oh, yeah, have you seen this? I have to go back and actually look at that because I might have missed that. But I did.
I'll send you a TikTok clip. It's pretty great.
Suit was wild. Sheena's dress was wild. I was like, this feels like Dance Moms, but they had fun. They did a performance.
It's classic Sheena of being pissed off that Ariana gets Dancing with the Stars and also Broadway. But meanwhile, you're telling me in the 10 years since this song has come out, you haven't like performed it in a real setting. So what makes you think you deserve to go on the things and perform when you obviously don't like keep that muscle strong? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's such like,
I know, like I was
entitlement.
Like, yeah, that she's so nervous. It felt like when she got on stage, she just like got shy, and I was like, no, come on, this is like what you say you've been training for. Like,
you've been singing this song for 10 years.
Yeah.
You're not going to go up on the words. Anyway, we were like, we'll just touch on Vanderpump Rules 20 minutes later.
Yep. All right, let's move on. So I guess we'll stay tuned to what happens there, or we'll just forget about it entirely. Who knows?
You and I will just go to Something About Her.
Yeah.
And support them because that's opening soon. And you know sandwiches. What? I do want one. I do want one of those sandwiches.
Yeah, they look great every time they show them.
Let's friggin' go.
Let's talk about Survivor.
Woo-hoo!
Wow.
Wow. Weirdest top 7 ever. Well, now top 6.
Okay. I was really excited about this episode at first because when Venus found that idol
Oh my
God. And when she said, I'm not telling anyone about this idol, they don't need to know, I was like, finally, someone not telling anyone about their idol and keeping it to themselves. Finally. And then it just backfires entirely.
Backfired. I truly like, you know, I haven't been a fan of Venus, and I've caught flack in the comments here. I don't hate Venus. I was more just kind of like, I don't think she's the brilliant mind the internet was making her out to be. But so when she found it, and obviously I'm like live texting with Chip about it, when she continued to search, I was like, we were both like, that's smart. That's
super smart.
Like, that isn't a thing that I've seen.
I think that's super smart, but she was searching in a way that even Kenzie was like, why is she being, like, she's just following me around. And then Kenzie almost got there, which just, it's so easy for us as an audience to be like, it's so obvious that she's like half-ass searching, so she has the idol. There's no way of knowing that in the moment when you're there.
But I do think she did a couple good moves. She might have done too much of the like, clearly I don't have the idol.
She does, well, everyone does too much, but she's been doing so much this season that everyone's like, I don't want to play with her because she's chaotic.
Yeah. Oh, totally. She's the Sheena or the Lala of the island. Absolutely. But I thought there were a couple things she did where I was like, that's kind of smart to throw people off the scent. She was just like, if Q doesn't start looking, then I'm assuming he has it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's smart. But again, it's like, you have the idol.
Yeah.
Fucking use it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this season is
the fourth person, I think, that's gone home with an idol in their pocket.
With a souvenir, as they call it.
Yeah, and Jess was the only person to play an idol, and it was fake in like the first couple episodes this season.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so it's wild. I will say, wherever Venus got her eyelashes done before this,
kudos.
I gotta go there. Like, her eyelashes look amazing.
They look so good for them having been there for like 3 weeks. And like mine would have been, I would have one eyelash hanging on as a little sundial. Truly, her person, one survivor. Absolutely. I do think Kenzie had grown on me. I understand Kenzie's frustration in being left out of that vote, because truly that was her move, and Maria swooped in and took it. Because the only thing that Maria did was say, let's not tell Kenzie. Kenzie did the groundwork to throw out Tiff. And then Maria was just like, actually, let's not let her in. And now this is my move. Which I'm just like, no.
Good. It's kind of good survivor playing.
I know, but
I know. Maria has like really become this like mob boss, which is very
the kingpin,
strange.
As they call her.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, she's very anti-women this season, is what Twitter is all about.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, her newfound relationship with Q, I'm kind of like, are you brilliant in that like Q really will do everything you say? Because the fact is like, I understand an extra vote. I understand that he was really down and out. So he was like, well, if Maria's my girl, I'll follow her. But I also know, like, we see scenes for the next week, Q's doing his Q skirt again. Like, I think there was only a 2-day time where he was going to be like, I'm a follower. It's going to blow up in her face.
To this tribal council. I wrote in my notes, Q's voting with his Q skirt on.
It's so fucking stupid.
But this is where it's confusing, because I feel like we're not being shown, obviously, a lot of footage, clearly, because they're there 24 hours a day with each other. Right. Venus and Liz's vehement hatred of Q is confusing to me at this point. That when Liz has this let's just talk first. So Charlie's playing an amazing game. He's
the best,
and he's doing a great job of like shining subtle light on how much Maria has control of everything. So then we get to our challenge, and it was so close, but Maria wins, and she wins reward, which is pizza at camp, which is like so evil.
Which is so evil. And the fact they didn't have to do this, they brought in gluten-free just to twist the Liz knife.
It was, it's wild. But So this is apparently the most, and this is where I don't remember any of the previous seasons of Survivor that I've watched, that everyone, well, Jeff is the one that said it, that this is the longest anyone has ever taken to choose people to come with them on reward. And she chooses Ben first, which made me so happy because Ben just starts crying.
Crying for pizza. I say, oh, I adore Ben. Him crying for pizza. Aw, that's a note.
Yeah, the same. Ben crying. And then she says, plead your case.
In that exact moment, I said, Maria, you just lost anyone in America who liked you.
Yeah.
Like, she absolutely acted like, I am a judge, hold in court, plead your case, and then I'll suss it out. And then it was like, you guys are just going to rock, paper, scissors anyway? Like, what is she doing? Like, this is, if your strategy is to make people not like you, then kudos. But like, that was the biggest hiccup. And when Maria does not win, it will be because of that moment. I feel like.
I think she overthought the most democratic way to play it.
I do too.
And because she ended up doing this weird roundabout thing that like was more cruel than it needed to be.
It was more cruel. I think this is what she did. I think if she was choosing people who needed it the most, which is kind of how she set it up with Ben.
Right.
Then she knew that Liz needed it the most, but she knows that Liz isn't going to help her win.
Yeah.
That's the thing. She knows Liz isn't going to win reward. Liz isn't going to win immunity. Liz, in her head, she goes, Liz is the weakest player. So while she probably needs that gluten-free crust the most, she doesn't help my game. Oh, shit. Now I've already said it.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys decide.
That's what I mean.
She was walking it back.
Yeah, I feel like she just like dug herself into a hole and couldn't figure out how to get herself back out. So she was like, I'll just leave it up to them. And just the universe is cruel that Q won rock, paper, scissors over Liz. So look, I get her frustration with him, but when they go back to camp, everyone's just talking so much shit about Maria.
So much shit.
Like they've lost all tact. That's gone. Now they're just talking shit. And I do think it's funny that Venus thinks her social game is so good, and then everyone just talks about how chaotic she is and that she comes up to them out of nowhere and is just like accosting them.
Oh my God.
But the monologue then when they get back to camp from eating the pizza and Liz starts talking about how much she hates Q and Q walks into it.
Oh, yeah. And then is it Maria who's like, Liz? And she's like, I don't care. I'm done. Maria like points out that Q was there.
Yes.
And she's just like, I am done. I have found that we're like, we knew you were done last week when you were screaming like a banshee, honey.
But which was yesterday. These are 1 day periods. But I loved this because her new revelation is that she's been suppressing her feelings for so long that she has probably given herself the allergies that she has, that her body has started attacking things because she hasn't let her anger out. And I saw a tweet that was like, when I start calling you all out on the time, don't just know it's because I don't want to develop any allergies.
That is amazing. What the fuck happened in her divorce?
I know, right? I know. But she is a millionaire, Liz.
Well, she needs to call Ariana and ask who her therapist is because, like, girl is going through it. And I also love, snaps for the editors. Everyone is up searching for the idol. Yeah. And then they cut to her snoring.
Yeah, just sleeping. Where's Liz? Charlie, a quote from him this episode. Here's the Taylor Swift's honest truth. I was like, okay, Charlie's playing a great game, though.
He's playing an incredible game. I had a thought today, and I know that timing doesn't work out, but with Taylor Swift's album coming out, I was like, I love the idea that if it came out while he was on the island and he came home to like, what? 30 new tracks?
New music?
And I've never heard, and everyone's like, yeah, it's been out a few weeks. He's like, ah!
Oh, he loses his mind.
No, I think he's playing such a smart game. I mean, obviously, Charlie is, here's the deal. Charlie, I feel like the people are going to start to be like, wait a sec, he has the jury's vote. Like, he's been nice the whole time. He's won challenges.
Yeah.
He, like, no one hates him. He's you know, like, he is going to be in their pocket. So I think we're about to hit a moment where Charlie has to start winning immunity every time. I feel like the target is going to his back like it did on Hunter.
100%. Or he's able to rally everyone to get Maria out.
Well, how many more votes does he have to survive? We're down to 6, right?
6, I guess. Yeah, they were saying there's like 6 days left or something before this tribal. So, I mean, it's crazy to me that every day they are doing a challenge and a vote. So no wonder they're all losing their minds. Okay, so we get to tribal council, and Tiffany looked so pretty. I was like, I have a little gasp because I love when they reveal the cleaned up cast member that's been voted off.
God.
It's like
everybody
a makeover
she
show.
saw that moment.
Yeah,
Kiss
I love
me,
it.
and it's like, yeah, bitch, I'm attractive.
Yeah, you all forgot.
She looked gorgeous.
And then Jeff and his shenanigans. He has now this time licorice, which is who eats licorice?
I'm gonna tell you, I texted Chip. I had Twizzlers last night.
What?
Only because I went to like an outdoor movie screening and they had a table of snacks and popcorn, and I was like I would never, you know me, I'm not like a sweets person, but I had the licorice. But like, I guess if you've been on an island for days and days, you could fucking hate licorice, but like, you just want to choose something that's not rice or coconut.
And I bet it was also gluten-free, so Liz could have it, so they could share it with her, which they did. He gave them one to share, and they passed it all around. And then we just get a series of Liz turning into like a Kathy cartoon that she just constantly is doing this like Home Alone face the whole time.
She's melting. She's just fully like, her allergies have made her skin plastic.
She's just like this like kind of just bratty behavior that
honestly,
I'm just like, I don't remember like a grown woman.
No.
But again, I don't remember often what I've recently watched. So this, I'm just like, how is no one like annoyed by Liz? I guess they just feel bad.
Here's the deal. I think they are. I think, and maybe it's being cut out, or maybe they're just like not saying it out loud. Mm-hmm. But I think they know there is no fucking way this woman is going to get a vote if she got top 3 after the outburst and the this and the craziness. And she's also not physically strong. And her mental health is going. So like, if she got to top 4, like, she's not fixing a puzzle. She's not doing any of that. You know what I mean? So I feel
you don't think she's gonna build fire?
Oh my God, I think she's filled with fire.
Yeah,
I think she is absolutely what they used to say, like a goat or whatever, like to bring it to sacrifice. I feel like no one's really saying it, but I think if I had to guess, it would be, okay, next week, maybe a Great Maria blindside. And then,
or they finally get Q off.
Well, yeah, Q is physically strong, but again, like, everyone has a problem with him. So I'm kind of like, if they got Maria out and then it's just Charlie, Liz, Q, Kenzie, and
who is the last person?
Who's the last one?
Oh, this
Ben.
rocks. Ben.
Yeah, I feel like Charlie's pretty confident and being able to be the vote there. But who knows? What I do love, and maybe I saw this wrong, because I was watching Survivor in a dark airport bar with airport Wi-Fi, is that someone wrote down Venus's vote but spelled it Venice. And I was like,
really?
Have you thought her name was Venice this whole time?
That is funny that they like know each other's names, but I guess they all ask each other how to spell each other's names. And you also can't ask someone how to spell their name. That's such a dead giveaway.
Such a dead giveaway.
So you just
unless
have to
it
do
was
your
like
best.
Unless it was like week 1 of the merge and you were like, okay guys, how does everyone spell their freaking names? Like I don't want to be calling you the wrong name, but I don't want you to think I'm voting for you in 3 weeks.
Yeah. I assume that they all have those kind of awkward conversations, technical conversations. I also thought it was interesting. Like, I don't know if this is to me, it didn't seem like a good move, but maybe it is to people that are more seasoned in this show. When Venus was talking to Charlie before the tribal council and insinuated that if they get through this one and he votes for Q, then there'll be some good stuff for it. I'm like, but not saying directly that she has an idol, even though he asked. And I was like, does she think she's playing a really smart? I think she thinks she's playing a really, really smart game.
Hello, my opinion on her the whole time. I think she thinks she's a bit of a mastermind. And it's like Charlie is playing 4D chess and she's playing checkers. And so she's just like, I think she was, I don't know why she thought she was golden and like impenetrable. But like, I do think... And I don't really know who rallied the Venus vote. Do you remember? Or was that kind of off camera?
It was, was it like Q and Maria?
I'm not sure, but I didn't know if like Charlie was not going to vote for her. And then that little conversation.
That's what I mean.
Here's the thing.
Because Charlie was the
want
swing
to brag
vote.
They found it so bad.
I know.
They shoot themselves in the friggin' foot.
I know. That's why I was like, because everyone's such a super fan. So everyone's trying to make blindsides and moves happen and take credit. That someone was like, are we watching Credit Karma or are we watching Survivor? Because everyone's out here trying to get credit.
Totally.
When she was like, no one needs to know about this idol, I was like, finally, keep it to yourself and then just play it. And then for her not to play it, everyone, I think, thinks they're all gambling that like the payoff of having an idol and playing it at the right time is like a guaranteed win of like the season in a way, or at least like a huge resume boost. And no one has played.
Sorry, go ahead. That's on the Wi-Fi. Sorry, go ahead. No, well, because I was trying to think of, there was a season Chip and I watched, and I don't know how far back it is, but it was like, she had a very sweet voice, and she was, long story short, she won. She was like kind of annoying at camp, and she got to the finale, and she was like, yeah, I deserve, because I did all these things. I'm here with an idol I didn't even have to use. And so
Erica,
I think,
maybe?
No, I'll find her name. But I feel like that was another thing where it's like, even though that isn't a strategic move, it's a bragging right at the final tribal council to be like, I'm so good, I didn't even use this. Yeah. And I feel like people kind of want that move as well. Yeah. For their resume.
Yeah. They're all playing hard, but Charlie, I feel like, is playing. Yeah, exactly. Because the entire jury is still blindsides sitting there. I did see it. I saw a clip of Venus on someone's podcast saying, because you know how they all go to Ponderosa right after. So that's like the place where they all go and they stay there once they're voted off. That she said her reception was not warm at Ponderosa. Few people did not come up to her for days and didn't make eye contact with her. And that her only fond memory is like watching Avatar with Hunter and eating cereal in the mornings or something. That she was like expecting people to be a little bit nicer, which is interesting because it's like there's a separation of like game and reality.
Right.
And I've heard in the past from previous players that psychologically it does like fuck you up to
totally
come out of the game, but then to still have these like deep vendettas against people.
Also, if they're going to the same place, they're still in a camp scenario.
Yeah.
So like if they ended the game and it was like, all right, you guys won't see each other, it'll be good, you'll see each other in real life in a CBS studio where there's craft services and drinks and you've all had, then I'm sure at that point, then it's like, hey guys, remember how we're actual humans. It's good to see you. Like, I looked up your Instagram. Oh, your daughter's cute, but like in this scenario, they're still cut off and they're like pissed.
And they're still playing the game because they're the jury. They decide who wins the whole show.
I need like Top Chef, Last Chance Kitchen.
That's all I want.
Ponderosa.
I feel like I would love that. I don't know why
just
they
a
haven't.
1 hour special. Just a 1 hour special.
Right. I don't know, because I have seen videos in the past of Survivor contestants going to Ponderosa and seeing themselves in the mirror for the first time.
Oh, wow.
After like a month and being like, oh my God, there's dirt. Oh my God. Like not
knowing
I'm gonna
look that up immediately.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But yeah, that's what I just want the show behind the show so bad. But now it's like the whole, I will say you can really, it's always fun to see how someone reacts to them getting voted off. And she was a good sport about being like, good game, everybody. That was great.
Yeah, you would think with what we know of Venus, she might have, especially with the idol, been pissed.
Yeah.
Or like said something catty on her way out. So I will give her credit for that because I would probably have words. But I'm so excited about the rest of the season.
Yes.
You guys, next week we're watching Survivor and then All Stars premieres. We're still figuring out if we're gonna like put those together or if it's just Survivor next week. You know, we kind of like have to take this week by week.
We're going to take it week by week. I'm traveling next week, so it might be a little wonky upload schedule again like this week, but we're going to get it figured out.
And let me just say, unlike Liz for the past 3 weeks, I have to take a shit so bad right now.
Okay. This got real.
This truly got real.